Hi there, I'm Chaplain Brandon Morris, and thank you for joining me today as we dive into the nitty-gritty of volunteer coordination. We're here to address a real challenge, one that many organizations like Volunteers of America face, the lack of streamlined volunteer coordination for outreach. Now let's address the elephant in the room. How do you run a successful organization without understanding the ins and outs of volunteer management? It's like standing up in the pulpit and hoping everything magically falls into place. But fear not, because today we're going to unravel the mysteries of volunteer coordination. We'll tap into the principles I've gathered over the years with the goal of equipping you with the tools you need to transform your volunteer program. Whether you're with Volunteers of America or any other organization facing similar challenges, we've got your back. Let's get started on the journey to building, coordinating, and managing fantastic volunteer teams. Let's talk about a term that will set the tone for our purposes: recruitment. Think about where you typically hear the word recruit. The military, corporate environments, college campuses, and so on. It carries a sense of hierarchy, a top-down approach that usually doesn't capture the vision of such organization. However, instead, embracing the word inviting is something that everyone loves. For example, an invitation to a birthday party. Whether it's inviting someone to your home, to join you on the golf course, or in our case, to be part of something meaningful, an invitation fosters a sense of inclusion and genuine desire. Therefore, recruitment, on the other hand, can feel a bit imposed, like some things or someone's doing something to you rather than with you. And let's face it, most folks don't see themselves as recruiters for the cause. So by shifting from a perspective of active recruitment to personal invitation creates an atmosphere where everyone feels wanted, included, and valued. Now, armed with this perspective, let's delve into the specifics of strategic volunteer management and discover how this shift can make a world of difference for organizations or any entity seeking a more inclusive and effective approach to building their volunteer teams. The key to fostering a culture of invitation lies with empowering individuals within your community to extend a personal invitation, who can tap others on the shoulder and say, "Hey, would you join me in this?" Imagine the impact if everyone in your organization embraced this approach. It's not about tapping the shoulder of a stranger, it's about tapping into the relationships you already have. As chaplain, I can only reach so many people, and I don't have the same connections and networks as each of the staff in our organization. That's where you come in. It's about your own networks, your relationships, and each of us making those personal connections that can transform a simple ask into a heartfelt invitation. This isn't just theory. It's a practical shift in how we should approach volunteer coordination in the modern world. We will certainly explore the practical steps behind this approach and how you can implement it in your own community. But now that we've grasped the essence of the invitation-based approach, let's tackle another common pitfall in the world of volunteer coordination: the tendency to recruit when we're desperate, when it feels like our options are running out. Recruiting out of desperation often sends the wrong message. It can make it seem like the ship is sinking and we're just looking for anyone willing to grab a lifeboat. More often, the problem lies in our language. The constant use of phrases like, "we need this," or "the clients need this," can create a sense of urgency, but it doesn't necessarily inspire action. People don't respond as much to a plea for help as they do to a compelling vision, a cause that resonates with them on a personal level. It's about finding that sweet spot where individuals say, I want to dedicate my time to this because it aligns with who I am, and there's a clear vision behind it. Here's an intriguing strategy shared by Eric Greger. He suggests overstaffing your volunteers by 25%. So if you need 10 volunteers, aim for 12 or 13. This method creates a supportive environment for growth, and it is not just a shot in the dark. It works because, traditionally speaking, your volunteers will always be less than the people you are serving. Now let's unpack this strategy of proactively overstocking your volunteer pool. Envision it as setting the stage for success rather than waiting until desperation kicks in. It's about cultivating an environment where the organization not only survives, but thrives. After all, who doesn't want to be on a winning team? The key is ensuring that the enthusiasm for serving is contagious, not just for a temporary burst of energy. But here's the catch. If it looks like volunteering means getting stuck there, doing it solo by yourself for the next 3 years, not many people will sign up for that journey. This is where strategic volunteer management comes into play. To have great volunteers, you need to become adept at shaping great volunteers. This crucial nugget of wisdom is a fundamental shift that lays the foundation for building not just a great team of volunteers, but an exceptional overall team. The next leg of our journey is shaping our volunteers. The crucial element is listening to them. When we don't give them enough support and time, and to truly listen to them, they may feel discouraged. Then the burnout rate begins to rise, and your once vibrant and engaged volunteers start feeling the strain. So how can we address this challenge effectively? How do we create a culture that not only appreciates the efforts of our volunteers, but also ensures their well-being? It starts with finding ways to communicate and express gratitude. Have you ever thought about the various ways to thank and encourage your volunteers? Emails, handwritten notes, the possibilities are endless. This touches on the idea that if your span of care, which is the number of people or volunteers you are responsible for, if it is too vast, it becomes challenging to care for them effectively. Imagine being a volunteer leader overseeing 30 individuals. It's a tall order to truly know each person and to understand what would constitute a meaningful thank you gesture for them. To add to this, different people have varied preferences when it comes to appreciation. For some, public recognition might be anxiety-inducing, while a simple handwritten note speaks volumes. Others might cherish a small $5 gift card to their favorite coffee spot, and that gesture could leave a lasting impact. The key is understanding the individual needs and preferences of your volunteers. Personally, I find that effective care for a team of volunteers is around 10 or 12 people. Within this range, I can invest the time to know their names, their children's names, and even be aware of significant life events like illnesses or milestones. It's about intentional and personal care, which is not limited to the people and clients who you are serving. Tailoring your appreciation efforts and ensuring that each volunteer feels genuinely valued are practical tips and strategies to make gratitude a central pillar of your volunteer management approach. When you invest in building great volunteers, you're not just building a team, you're laying the groundwork for a community of individuals who are so engaged and fulfilled that they aspire to become staff members themselves. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to continuing our exploration of this topic through your emails and discussion posts.